It is natural sometimes to get swept into the craziness. Maybe all of your school friends are planning more regular get-togethers, your best friend is having a baby shower, it's also your brother-in-law's 30th coming up. It seems that there is more stuff happening when you become an adult as compared to when you were a kid. You might even feel slightly numb to the events unfolding around you. But wait, hold up a sec. There's a quote by Robin Williams, and he had this to say, "You're only given a little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it." To be a little bit cheesy, each one of us has a gift, a unique perspective on life that is shaped by our reality and our experiences. But sometimes what we do in order to fit in is change the way that we express ourselves. This is where we say or do things that internally disagree with our values. Like, I don't know if you've ever met someone where you pretended to like them, but deep down you just think they're a piece of shit. However, rather than denying how you feel and pretending to be someone else, you should always listen to your gut instinct. And on the subject of people pleasing, I find that if I care too much about what other people want, I get a bit irritated because there's usually quite a few things that I like to brush under the carpet because I'm just quite an easygoing person. However, rather than trying to go for that short-term pleasure of trying to make people feel good, what you actually want to be focusing upon is what gives you meaning. What gives you purpose? You know, that reason to be excited in the morning, that reason to start meal prepping, start journaling, like all of the most pretentious self-development shit, but it's there for a reason. And something that's quite related is this idea of overcommitment. In the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown, he talks about some of the downsides to overcommitting yourself. He talks about the story of the Concorde jet, one of the biggest accomplishments in air travel history. From London to New York, it was estimated that it could reach either destination in as little as 2 hours 52 minutes. It seems like a no-brainer that an accomplishment like that should lead to big success. But as it turns out, the project was losing money for 4 decades running and was considered a massive financial flop. Like the man at the casino being wiped out for a second time in a row, the girl that breaks up with her partner for the 5th time. All of these things, what they have in common is this idea of sunk cost bias. Sunk cost bias is that we are less likely to abandon certain things depending on our investment of time, money, or general resources and energy into the thing. Like if you've ever known someone that's been in an abusive relationship, they usually find it quite hard because of all these things that factor into that. So where do we go from here? Some of the things I do in order to uncommit myself is just have a general life reset. And I'd probably say for number one is I prioritize working out and eating healthy. Now, a lot of people that know me know that I usually do this stuff normally, but I think from time to time I do fall out of routine and rhythm with that type of lifestyle. The thing is with most people, when it comes to eating healthy or working out, they tend to do just one or the other. They don't do both at the same time. So hypothetically speaking, you're able to double your chances of achieving lots of meaningful progress if you do both at the same time. And that's why we eat healthy. We want to feel good, and when we work out, we want to look good. So it makes sense to combine both of these styles so that way we can achieve our dream body. And what this helps is knowing a little bit about the nutritional benefit of some of the foods that you're eating. If you know about the benefits of the things you're eating, you're more likely to be motivated to eat them when it comes down to having that healthy meal. Before long, you'll probably see an improvement in your appearance and also your mood. Another thing is self-development books. Now, I find when it comes to reading, it's a bit like the indecision you have when you're watching Netflix, you're trying to find something to watch. There's a lot of indecision. I know a lot of people that want to read, they don't think reading's boring like quite a few people do, but they just don't have the courage to start any of the books. So they just continually put reading off. The simple fact of the matter is, if you read a lot of self-development books, whenever you're faced with a challenge, you've got this whole breadth of knowledge that you can use to your advantage. And it becomes so much easier to solve problems or deal with challenges when you've got an ability to look at it from a completely different perspective. For example, at one point I had trouble going to the gym a lot. I was struggling to make progress and I had trouble with the way that I was doing my workouts and also motivating myself to do them. And what helped me was when I reflected upon this book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And it essentially talks about the power of doing small things consistently as much as you can that can achieve great results over the long run. And then by reflecting upon that whole message, it allowed me to actually realize that even if I go to the gym for a very small amount of time, it's still the mentality of consistency, which is important. And I would have never had that perspective had I never read a book that was called The Compound Effect. And this book has also helped me save money. It's helped me invest better, save money for a deposit for a house. I think that these things wouldn't have even been possible had I never chosen to read self-development books. Now, a final thing you could do in your life reset is actually help people. Now, the very nature of a hero is someone that puts other people before themselves. This is why we really like comic book movies with Batmans and Spider-Mans. Like, no one looks at a Stalin or a Hitler and is like, wow, I want to be that guy. Now, helping people is quite a broad term. It means lots of different things for lots of different people. This could be just sending a message or giving a phone call to a family member or a friend. Even though they might be okay, they also might not be okay. They might be dealing with stuff that is completely unknown to you. So they would appreciate someone taking the time out of their day to actually check up on them. Something also you can do is do something that's quite inexpensive. Something that my filmmaker mate does is that he gets a round of coffees for the clients and also the crew if they happen to be on a big shoot. It's not so much that he's trying to suck up to anyone, especially his clients, but he's trying to build trust, trying to show what his true values are by giving to people. I find that in life when I'm a bit agitated, it's usually because I'm being a bit selfish. I'm not giving as much as I could be. There's some reasons for that. Maybe it's the fact that I've been managing my money poorly, so in the run up to payday, I'm a little bit skint. Giving to people is really good because, say for instance, you're in a situation where you can't afford something. If you've given to someone before, they're more likely to return the favor and cover you in that situation. So what from here? Like, the very idea of a life reset is usually because what you're doing is just simply not working. It's not that you're doing anything fundamentally wrong. It's just there needs to be a different approach to be taken. In one of the greatest findings of the last 20th century, Abraham Maslow found that there are certain needs that are actually fundamental to our survival. This has been noted as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and each hierarchy has a different criteria for what is fundamental to a human surviving. The first stage is things like warmth, clothing and food, shelter, quite physical needs. The second one up from that is security. So I guess the networks around us that ensure our place in society. This could be things like employment or property that you own. The next one up from that is love and belonging, and that's very simple. It's the relationships we have with our friends, our families, our loved ones. And the penultimate one is self-esteem. This relates to levels of achievement, confidence, the respect of other people. And at the top is self-actualization. And I guess what this is the fact that you're able to determine what is good for yourself and what is bad for yourselves. What's right, what's wrong? Where do your morals lie when it comes down to certain things that happen in your life? Are you the type of person that knows who you are and is willing to stand up for that and also stand up for other people? It's a lot of things that come down to, I guess, how comfortable you are in your own skin. To know you're happy is to live in accordance with your own values, not to change them for anybody. Definitely a few things worth bearing in mind. Anyway, guys, that is it. If you like this, comment, like, and subscribe. And I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Onwards and upwards, guys. Take care.